these things are just tools. AI is just a tool. There's lots of different tools. AI is also so general. Like there are very specific tools that exist, and there are concepts that you're trying to capture. And the tools are just ways to capture the concepts, and the tools get more powerful, and the techniques get more refined to take advantage of the more powerful tools. So it's not like, the way that you build systematic investment strategies today is, frankly, at all like what you used to do 20 years ago. But the basic concept is the same, which is like start with core intuition, understand in an expert way a design of what is the thing you want to capture, and then find the tools and techniques that are most appropriate for that particular problem that you're trying to solve. The functional reality is those tools and techniques have come along.
So machine learning, all these different subsets, separate from the Gen AI, LLMs of the world.
Exactly. And if anything, I think from an investment management standpoint, like there's a lot more richness and frankly, a lot more effective tools that exist and are being developed. And, it's incredible how far we've come in at least in my career, 20 years, that are more sort of quantitative oriented AI and machine learning techniques. And, even though everyone's talking about, large language models and ChatGPT and stuff like that, like, ChatGPT from at least from my perspective of the problems we're trying to solve, like it's pretty good at, writing haikus and being a joke book in your pocket, but it's like not that useful in, trading financial markets.
Yeah, it's very focused on different applications, right? I think everybody there's a lot of noise out there, but what is it doing specifically for the challenge it can solve in your business? Maybe
right, and there are certainly people who have business problems that are of the form create essentially generic text and do that over and over again. And so that, so I'm not saying that there's no value in LMMs or anything at all, right? There's no value in them. It's just, it's not the problem we're trying to solve.
For what you're doing. Right.
For what we're doing. And that's just what it is. It's not the problem we're trying to solve. And the worst thing you can do, and this really, this is a little bit like systemization philosophy, is like the worst thing you can do is bring a tool which is totally wrong, a tool or technique which is totally wrong, to the problem that you have at hand. And it's actually, one of the things, at least, and that's particularly important in the asset management business, because sampling is a real problem for a lot of these techniques, which are high sample size problems. If you're looking for, pictures of cats, like I can essentially create an unlimited number of cats and you can identify whether it's a cat or a dog or whatever. And so your sampling size is huge. If you're thinking about financial markets, like your sample size, there's a limit. There is a literal functional limit, which is like you could look at every stock, every minute for the last 50 years, and then you're done. There is no other information that's out there. Of course you could look at macro data back further than that, but like the orders of magnitude, whereas I can create essentially billions, trillions of pictures of cats, infinite numbers of pictures of cats, essentially. I cannot do the same thing with training data for financial markets. And so what that highlights is that you really do need expert designed systems that are carefully thinking about techniques and thinking about the limits of those techniques, which is actually a pretty big part of the story. Understand the limits of your techniques and think about how do you make them robust and not overly optimized, because that they are limited, that they're handcuffed. And so you have to be careful about how far you push the optimization of the approach, because you might overly optimize your technique to back history relative to what happens in the future. And so, I think that's expert design systems, at least in the financial market world, are going to be around, basically forever, because until there is a better, maybe there is a next generation better solution to the low sample size problem, but until we get that, you really do have to have expertise in terms of thinking creatively beyond the scope of what is, plausibly in the data set behind you.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.